What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Mondaze Muse. As always, this is a very special show for me. It is a chance to show off my super talented friends. So we're going to start off with a Songwriting Round featuring Mr. Eric Ilian and NXK duo. Let's hop into it.
On the far right, we got Eric Ilian. Give it up for him. That's unacceptable. Give it up for Eric Ilian. Come on, everybody. That's what I'm talking. You sweet brother. And I love that pineapple strap. I always have. It's what drove us to be friends initially. And then NXK, everybody. Give it up for him. Well, we're going to let him do the thing for an hour, and we'll get back to this. Enjoy, my friends. Eric, you kick it off.
Hey guys, hope you're doing well. This first one is, like Matt said, we're doing all originals tonight. This first one is called Just Maybe. I hope you enjoy it. Getting ready, and I've got butterflies, slow and steady. I tell myself, haven't been here in a while. Get out of the shower, comb my hair, spend the next hour picking a shirt to wear. It's time to go pick her up. All the boys wish me luck. Guess we'll see how it goes. Only met 2 days ago. 'Cause it's my first time out since everything with you know who. And I am proud to say that I made it through. Now I'm out here and I'm looking for new love. Maybe, just maybe, I found the one. Or maybe I just met a real nice girl who knows a good time. Well, it could be just for the night, that's alright. But maybe, just maybe, maybe, just maybe, I found my girl. And get home late, it went pretty well, but I am home alone. Good things don't come easy. Sent her a text just to see how it went. Tell her I had a good time. Fell asleep with a smile, waiting for a reply. And the next day I was California bound. Only gonna be gone a week, hoping she'll still be around. A few weeks go by, saw her a few more times, and I'm starting to feel something. Every time it's a little more. I am scared, you know I've been here before. Her family seems to like me, 'cause you know I met them all. Her family seems fine, funny enough. They remind me of some of mine. And I'm having trouble figuring out what's going on in her mind. If it doesn't go my way, I know I'll be fine. After all, it's my first time out since everything with you know who. And I am proud to say that I made it through. Now I'm out here and I'm looking for new love. Maybe, just maybe, I found the one. Or maybe I just met a real nice girl who knows a good time. It could be just for the night, that's alright. But maybe, just maybe, maybe, just maybe, I found my girl. Yeah, maybe, just maybe, maybe, just maybe, I found my girl.
thinking it's my insecurity running in my head. And when I ask you, do you know me, really know me? I just wanna know if I've hid myself well enough so you don't see the tears I cry from my eyes. I try to wipe away the lies I tell myself when no one's looking. Send myself my demise every time I compromise my disguise when the bridge is finally breaking. Ooh. Sometimes I feel like I come from hell. My mama's placed a fiery spell upon me. Set my heart up ablaze in flames. Let it rain, pour through my veins, pour it through my veins. So you don't see the tears I cry from my eyes. I try to wipe away the lies I tell myself when no one's looking. Send myself my demise every time I compromise my disguise when the bridge is finally breaking. Ooh. Send my body up to the river. Watch me sail off to the sun. Break my roots out from these branches so I could prove I finally won. Send my body up to the river. Watch me sail off to the sun. Break my roots out from these branches so I could prove I finally won. I finally won, so you don't see the tears I cry from my eyes. I try to wipe away the lies I tell myself when no one's looking. Send myself my demise every time I compromise my disguise when the bridge is finally breaking. Ooh. Thank you.
That was Eric Illian and NXK. I'd never seen NXK, and they blew my mind. My man Eric was coming out with fresh tunes, so it was a really nice round just to sit back, have my first drink of the night. I think it was my first beverage, and just enjoy. Also, Jerry was there and made it sound great. I love when I don't have to mix that show, but he made me a preset, so it's going to sound a whole lot better from here on out. Okay. The featured guest of episode 4 of the Mondaze Muse is my man Damon Mitchell. Damon is a wonderful singer-songwriter, a killer guitar player, a fantastic hired gun that gets the job done every time you ask him to, and a pretty good hang. So let's hop into this interview. We had some technical difficulties, so eventually we might drop some outtakes of the 3 other interviews we did leading up to this. All right. How many times we tried to do this already? Hey, is this number 4?
This is number 4.
We're still in the PA? Are you sure we're not just in that PA? Cool, we're just in that PA. It should be fine.
All right.
Jesus, take 4. This is difficult. But David, I missed you, brother. Thank you for coming on.
I've missed you, and I'm glad to be here.
Well, I am.
Really.
I'm excited to hear some new tunes out of you. We were talking a bit about the album. You want to give him a quick recap just so I can make sure it goes on the show?
Yeah. So in October, I put out a brand new album called Like You're in a Dream. Part of it was produced by my buddy Jeff Pivar, who is David Crosby's lead guitarist, also has history with Ray Charles. So it was a blessing and a learning experience to work with him. And then also my buddy Sean Geyer, who has worked with some more modern artists like 30 Seconds to Mars and Skillet. He produced a couple tracks, and my buddy Ian Regals did a track as well. And so there's so much influence from their backgrounds and then kind of their guiding hand in the production of the songs that I wrote on the record, and then a handful of musicians playing on it. So anyway, it's called Like You're in a Dream.
Yeah.
I guess
That's killer, man. When you bounce between producers like that on one project, how do you kind of keep a singular vision throughout the whole thing?
I wish I had an answer. I think it ends up. I mean, part of me wants to say it just happens and it's a magical musical thing. But I mean, there's part of that. But I also think I have help in picking out the songs, because I'm sure you're the same way. I have a Dropbox folder of 100+ songs I've not recorded that have been sitting there, and I'll show 30 or 40 of them that I like to a friend or two that might be also involved on the album, and we pick 7 or 8. It's an 8-song record, so we pick 8 that seem like they're going to fit together.
Yeah.
And so while the production styles might differ, sometimes in a way that might be noticeable to the listener, I don't know. I can't listen without tainted ears because I know, you know how that goes.
Well, and like that's such an interesting thing because you pick these people to kind of depend on like who has the outside perspective that I need to shape this song. Because some people might be looking at it the same way you are, and you want to kind of widen the scope.
I don't want them to hear the song the same way I hear it.
For sure.
Because then I would just produce it myself.
That's a valid point. But, it also, it takes 10,000 hours on everything you do. It's like, you and I are live performers. We're guys that try to play a bit in the studio. It's like that's already a lot of time invested. Now, to dabble in the production world, it's just kind of like a totally different dimension of being.
Well, we live in an era, and I don't want to go too much on a rant. I could, and it's all just my opinion, and it's all subjective. But we live in a world where it's accessible to have production gear. That doesn't instantly make you a producer. And I think there are a lot of musicians that's like, well, I own an interface, so I'm a producer. And it's like, well, no.
That's super valid, but like, it's the barriers to entry. That's one of those things.
Exactly.
Like I always heard about that in business school. Like you were talking about, going into an open market and what it takes to be a player in it.
Mm-hmm.
It takes more than a $200 interface for sure.
Right.
It takes a lot of really minute things that you don't notice a difference of until you're at that level. But I think more people owning that title does make the field more competitive.
Yeah.
And does make for a better product in the end.
It does.
Like SoundCloud rappers was like something that I always heard growing up. It was kind of like a bashed turn. It's like it's ripping on these people for no necessary reason because we're all guilty of putting out things that are inevitably demos. You
kind
pour
of underbaked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hundreds of hours, but you're not going to be at that 98, 99% done rate until you can really invest what the biggest of companies can, like a Warner Brothers, can put behind you. Unless you're a standout.
And there are the standouts. That's the thing is it's also, even though this is, like I said a second ago, that's all my opinion, art is subjective. And there have been, quote unquote, masterpieces made by people that didn't have as much experience as someone else, or didn't have the gear that someone else had. But, you could say that those are outliers too.
And I think they're, what's the word for it? What's like, they're standout and it's worth something, but it's not statistically relevant. Like you should expect that even though like on this last EP I'm working on, I wanted to play everything if I could. And I'm getting there and I'm like, I could play everything, just not that well. It's like Prince did it on his first record. Prince is a standout. Prince is the guy.
McCartney did it on the first McCartney record.
Yes. And to see that at points in time should remind us that you should strive for that. But you should settle at it because your heroes were capable of it too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Man, there's validity on both sides of that coin. I really enjoy working with other musicians that have 10,000 hours on their instrument or on their craft, and I can hear their interpretation. I've been very blessed to work with some great musicians, and it's been a learning experience for me. Yeah.
Well, as a player, like, you take on these roles where you're not just a songwriter. You're a sideman in some roles.
Mm-hmm.
You're a co-writer in some roles. You're just a session player or a hired gun. How do you stay competitive in those fields? How do you really tighten up your playing?
Listening to other people is number one. Like, always be listening. Trying to, I don't want to say emulate because I want to be me, but take influence from other musicians that are not just guitar players. Because for anyone listening that doesn't know, I'm a guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
But horn players. We can start at the real kind of, the classics, but kind of base level like Miles Davis, Coltrane,
Maceo
Charlie
Parker.
Yeah, Dizzy. We could go on and on. Those guys are the reason, in my opinion, that we have lead guitar.
That's interesting.
I think guitar players have always just secretly wanted to be horn players.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to listen to horn players and think, like, how would a horn player play over this set of changes?
Yeah.
Let me try to do that on my guitar, as opposed to how do I feel as a guitar player that just wants to rip a scale and show off,
show off dexterity over
and no one cares.
Passion in that.
Like,
to be limited, to be monophonic.
Yeah.
like a horn is a different game. And like,
Yeah.
you know, we have this beautiful expression where you could go up to a 4-voice kind of like fat, thick texture. But it doesn't make it better, you know? Like, you find out very quickly. It doesn't. When you're playing acoustic, you don't need the full block chord. You don't need to be playing cowboy style first position.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. There are so many ways you can interpret a song or interpret the feeling, but trying to make the most mature yet authentic decision.
Absolutely.
And that's a balance. Like, what's going to sound good, but what's also authentic to how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And then you got to think about it, because I think you do a lot of improv where you're just making up the solo as it goes, and so do I. You have to think really fast on the fly about
It's in the next piece.
about that kind of thing. That's hard to like think that fast. But when you do it, you know, as much as like you do, or I'm very blessed to get to do it quite often too. You develop a bit of a knack for
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to, like, well, one thing that I would like to ask you, like, as a player, you know, staying on top of it, how do you stay authentic to yourself when you're playing the chameleon role of jumping into a lot of different groups and then coming back to your solo gigs?
Oh man, how do I stay authentic to myself, like musically within those roles?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I think first of all, understanding how the songs I'm playing for other people make me feel, how they're intended to make the listener feel. And oftentimes whatever that intent is, I'm feeling it too, to some level. So I try my best to honor that emotion in my interpretation, as opposed to, and also considering what was the artist trying to convey, and how can I be a mouthpiece for that. And I put a bit of my tint on it.
For sure.
But I don't want me to try to make it sound like all of a sudden it's a whole different emotion, or like I'm going to rip some crazy 80s thing over a modern country, like kind of mid-tempo ballad. Like, that's just not appropriate, you know.
Well, it's fascinating to play that role as much as you do and as well as you do, you know.
Well,
like,
thanks,
I really do respect that. And we should probably hop back into this show. So with that, anything you want to tell the people at home really quick before we hop into some music?
Man, I think if there are any musicians out there that we talked about a second ago, just always be listening.
Yeah.
Keep finding new people to listen to. Listen to the album that you don't really want to listen to, or the genre that doesn't resonate with you. Go find who the forefathers of those genres are, the men and women that created it, and listen to their records and try to, I don't know, find something in it that you like and try to appreciate every bit of music out there, because it's going to make you a better player and a better person to hang with.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I appreciate you being here, man.
Thanks for having me, man. I love you a lot.
Let's hop into this. See you in a sec, y'all.
That was me and Damon catching up a little bit. Like I said, that was interview number 3, so we were on a lot of different questions, a lot of different talking points. But, you know, you let the show flow, and we really let it fly. After that, we get into this 2-man round. We had a good-ass time. So check out a couple of tunes. I think I just picked the first 2 songs, but who knows? The most important thing, though, is make sure you RSVP for next month, April 11th at Latitudes. Featured guests will be announced right after this set. See you in a sec.
Thank you so much, everybody. Jerry, is my guitar in the subs as well? I got this. Okay, I just got this bass pedal trying to put some funky in it.
So I see there are a lot of couples out there, and this song is, it goes out to all the couples. It's about falling in love with someone you watch commit a federal offense, in keeping with the theme. So it's a start to all great and lasting relationships. And I'm from Illinois, and that's how we elect our governors in Illinois.
Dog, this sounds like a pen pal you got in a penitentiary.
Well, so a few of you got that joke. Most I did grow up in Illinois, and most of our governors end up in prison after a while for one thing or another. Anyway, this song's off my first record. It's called Heist. I saw you there, I saw you wave him in. His suit and tie, your cardigan, your matching ties was a perfect disguise for your heist. I heard an engine and I saw a van Black as the night, driven by secret man. It can't be true. It's so taboo that I'm falling for you. They say you can't save what's already lost. The line in the sand has already been crossed. I saw you standing there, what have you done? You stole my heart at the point of a gun. It can't be true, I'm falling for you. I saw the sirens and I saw the lights. It broke my heart as it pierced the night. But out in the sky, oh so bright were the flashing lights. I saw the struggle, heard the arguing. I saw you flee out down the west wing into the crowd. Oh, so loud, the shots rang out. They say you can't save what's already lost. The line in the sand has already been crossed. I saw you standing there, what have you done? You stole my heart at the point of a gun. It can't be true, so here's where it gets good. The police tape ring surrounded the scene. They caught you as you attempted to flee. But there you were so cute in your cuffs. Ooh, the under oath, I began to bluff. You turned your crime into a work of art, entitled The Heist of My Heart. Life in bars can really take its toll. A life sentence with no parole, but that's okay. I'll write you every day, I got no other way. You're a criminal. Separated by a sheet of glass. They say it's precautions based on your past. You'll do time, but I don't mind your life a crime. They say you can't save what's already lost. The line in the sand has already been crossed. I saw you standing there, what have you done? You stole my heart at the point of a gun. It can't be true, yeah. They say you can't save what's already lost. The line in the sand has already been crossed. I saw you standing there, what have you done? You stole my heart at the point of a gun. It can't be true, I'm falling for you. Thank you.
That Adam guy was right. You're a pretty weird dude, Damon. You know that?
Matt and I both have kind of played with a guy named Adam Calvert or know him, and maybe some of you know him. He's a great country artist. And one of my first gigs with him, he came up to me during a break and put his arm on my shoulder, and he said, "Damon, you're a weird guy." And that was that.
It makes you feel at home once they know. Before that, it's like the secret ain't out yet. Keep it to yourself. Hey, cheers, everybody. Thanks for hanging out on a Monday night. I'm going to keep talking about killing people. I got one more song in the category. Just make sure we do this right. This is a new one. I also find it concerning, but, you know, sometimes these things just come out of you and you got to let it be. It's called Mama Said. Thanks, buddy. I put a gun to my head, at least it's warm, like a blanket in a bed during a winter storm. Mama said, don't cry over what you spent. Mama, this ain't that, this ain't milk. I got blood on my shorts, at least chasing waterfall. I ain't drowning in the pool, no, like I used to do. Mama said don't cry over what you spilled. Mama did say that this is hell. Gave me a pension. It's a good one. It's got benefits, a 401k, a little dental. You know what it's like. You know what it's like. Oh, now I forgot the next verse. Hot diggity damn. Hold on, I'm digging. This is where I buried that. Okay, yeah. Put a shovel to the dirt. Don't said gone digging. To make it worse, the neighbors heard me singing. Don't cry over what you spill. When there's a body in the backyard, mama, in a hole I feel. So don't cry over what you spill. Mama, will say that this is hell. Hey, Damon. Don't know, but if you want to go down, hell, it could even be D. I don't know. Let's go. Damon Mitchell, everybody. Ain't that the good news right there? Put a glass of wine. I finished his bread. Don't go wasting nothing on the living, and nothing on the dead. So don't cry. Oh, what you spill. Mama, they say that this is hell. Oh, baby boy, what you gonna do? I'm rocking the day. Oh, shit. Oh, honey, now take a chance on redemption. Mama, this ain't that. The devil gave me a pension. That's called Mama Said. It's real new, y'all. And when I played it for my mom, she goes, "What are you talking about? What the fuck you been doing?" She's a good parent. She's a good parent. It's hard to differentiate between what's actually going on, what's this bullshit from the basement, but you live your life, everybody. Now, this isn't the influence I was trying to have on you, brother, but if it happens, it happens. Speaking of, do you want some Jack Daniels? I brought a cup up.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
The gas ain't good unless they're liquored up. Cheers to that, yo. Come on. I knew this was going to be a weird Monday when I got here. I could feel it. At 4 o'clock, I was like, something's going on, okay?
There's
it's either
a
a
vibe.
full moon or the right thing.
Or both. You know,
Maybe both.
speaking of musicians getting liquored up and then performing live or having an audience, our buddy Aaron Roy is in the back.
Hey.
And he has a podcast called Beats and Brews. Aaron's a great drummer, plays for a bunch of local artists and touring artists, and he interviews other local drummers while they have a few beers and then they play together.
You know, you got to quantify those guys by how quickly they can hold down any given tempo, okay? And I'm sure after a certain amount of IPAs, they just start dragging in a wonderful way.
Oh.
And only Aaron would know, but he has quantitative evidence. Let's go to him for it.
Oh, man. This one goes out to Aaron and Mindy. So this is a new song off my my record, Like You're in a Dream, and the song's called Okay. Too many times we tell people that we're doing okay when they ask, how are you? We're not okay, but we say we're okay because we try to avoid the path of most resistance, and we take the path of least resistance. But sometimes we need that resistance to have character, or at least to have character shown. And I think it's time we start being more honest with each other, and more importantly, honest with ourselves. This song says, just give me time, and I'll be fine. Well, I never knew a reason for why you're leaving. Did the summer bore you, or did you finally fall away from the season? Did the friends that you knew decide to finally write you a letter, telling you what to do and how you could do so much better? I'm okay, I'll be fine. I'm okay, if just inside my mind. Just give me time, and I'll be fine. Well, the camera fell through and it crashed into a million pieces. We reassembled the glass, but the memory was always decreasing. Did you find that in time, or someday you might want this back? If it matters to you, well, you were the best that I am, yeah. But I'm okay, I'll be fine. I'm okay, if just inside my mind. You gotta give me time, and I'll be fine. Matt, this song's in the key of E. You wanna go for it? I'll be fine. I'm okay, if just inside my mind. You gotta give me time, just give me time, give me time, and I'll be fine. Oh. I'm okay, I can lie to myself.
That's a great song. That's a great song, man. There's also nothing better than just being head bobbing in the back and someone's like, you want to rip a solo? You're like, yeah, please. Thank you. That's awesome. And that reminds me of a song that, you know, sometimes you write a tune that you can't really explain to yourself. It sits there and you don't really know what it's about. It's almost like a moment of deja vu. It's predicted something in your life, and in the moment where you needed it, it clicks in a very different way. And I wrote this next one at the beginning of the first time I had like legal trouble with someone in the music industry. And it was one of those those things that it weighed you down day in and day out. There ain't no way of getting around it. And I was having a conversation with my girlfriend, and I was explaining that, you know, it's heavy, but I don't want to talk about it. I don't know what to say about it. I just know that I'll be fine. There's gonna be a problem on the other side. The morning, it's been waiting impatiently for me to decide where I'm going. There's no more running, no more hiding, 'cause this shit was decided a long, long time ago. I'm so done running, and all I'm fighting, the taking on the world at first is a way to go. And I'll be fine when it's all over, love. And it takes time for me to sober up. I'm drunk on the hurt that this life has been serving up. It's a full cup I've drank, I don't think I've had enough. I'll be fine when it's all over, love. Now, Jerry, that's the reverb right there. Give it up for Jerry, the sound guy here at Louditude. That's not a fun job, I'll tell you that much, but finding the right reverb, ooh, it's tasty. You hear that? That's where it's at, okay. Waiting down the line, past some heavy people on my shoulders. I used to call them friends, they were my rock. Now they dispose. And I'm done dragging all this baggage on the folks who felt they never had enough. I'm done listening to all your bitching, all the things that you think you're deserving of. And I'll be fine when it's all over, love. And it takes time for me to sober up. I'm drunk on the hurt that this life has been serving up. It's a full cup I've drank, I don't think I've had enough. I'll be fine when it's all over, love. And all the ships soon sink. Now hope you see the truth, that the only thing holding me back has always been you. And all your inner thoughts, I thought you'd see the truth. So have you always known the shit you put me through? And I'll be fine when it's all over, love. It takes time for me to sober up. I'm drunk on the hurt that this life has been serving up. It's a full cup I've drank, I think I've had enough. I'll be fine, it's all over, love. Oh, thanks, everybody. That helped me hurt in the right way. Very therapeutic to scream a little bit.
That was Damon Mitchell, everybody. My brother, he's been crushing it. He's kicking some ass out there on the road with his own stuff, doing a lot of good things for some other artists. Also, I want to give a special shout out to Caden and Will of April 14th Photography. If you saw any of the photos from this show, that was just those guys being so eloquent at capturing the feeling of a room, the special parts of the real experience in a still moment. And so I can't thank you guys enough for coming out and kicking ass on that. And let me tell you about the featured guest for next month. As always, we got the Songwriter Round starting off. We're going to have a Songwriters Open Mic at the end. But our feature is going to be Mr. Noah Smith. Noah is one of the hardest working men in music, one of Cincinnati's finest. He's one of those deep East Side boys. I'm talking like farther than Batavia. I believe he's Brown County. And I hate driving to his house, but I love seeing him. So get your table RSVP'd, call Latitudes, get ready to go. Thanks for tuning into the Mondaze Muse. I love you.